Yeah, I think fear is a natural consequence of something that's unprecedented. Nobody would have expected in January 2020 that we would be in the situation where the world is essentially shut down. And New York in particular is in a horrific situation. If you look at the information right now, there's essentially two Chinas in New York State. You have 1/70th of the population, but twice as many cases and deaths as all of China so far as of today. So it really is an intense transmission that's going on. And if you live in New York, and I used to live there, certainly it can be unsettling to be in the middle of that kind of situation and really wonder when your life will resume, when we can go out safely. Our knowledge of COVID-19 has expanded greatly in the past 2 months. The pace of science about SARS-CoV-2 is unprecedented in terms of the amount of research that's being done. But we still have critical gaps in terms of the proportion of people who say have it without having symptoms, how much that contributes to the spread. Those kinds of questions are extremely important to understand how to best battle this virus. We don't have any treatments, we don't have any vaccine, and we don't know that there's any seasonality component to it. So it's essentially here to stay. Just because we see case numbers going down, the virus is still outside. So when we're all allowed to go interact with each other again, it's still there. It's not going away as some influenza pathogens go away, in the drier, hotter kind of climate. The strategy will shift for the second peak, the third peak, the fourth peak. It'll shift from what we have now, which is basically not testing everybody, to more of a containment strategy that you see typically earlier in epidemics, which is when we're all out there again, we need to be able to massively test to identify who the cases are, to isolate them, to trace their contacts and quarantine those contacts. Until we have effective treatment or vaccine, this could be something that we cycle on and off in terms of staying inside or being out. It really depends on how prepared we are when we are all back out there. If we start to see a resurgence, if we start to see beds fill up in hospitals, then we might have to advise again that the community go back into their homes until we have those kind of vaccines that could potentially extinguish this pandemic from the whole world. Until then, it could be a back and forth between inside and outside. Most experts will tell you the end comes when we have a vaccine that works. Then we can protect people and they can feel safe going out again. But as you know, we're about 12 to 18 months away from that by all estimates.